Hi, my name is Yemi Akinsawaju, known as the Leadership Catalyst. It was a tremendous privilege and pleasure to share some insights with some wonderful, treasured people tonight under the auspices of the Unique Women Insights, the masterclasses, the leadership masterclasses. Now, tonight I had the opportunity to share some dynamic kingdom leadership keys drawn from principles extracted from the scriptures. I've come to appreciate that the scriptures provide for us a rich treasury of insights, leadership insights, for being the leaders that we were born to be. I started our conversation by saying that every human was born to be a leader. And when you read the scriptures, it tells us very clearly that we were created to exercise leadership and rulership in the earth in the book of Origins, known as Genesis. And when we come to the end of the book, in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, it also tells us that the saints sang a new song unto the Lord, saying, God, you have made us kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So in essence, really, the fundamental assignment that each and every one of us have on this planet is leadership. So we're born to exercise leadership, rulership, dominion in a specific sphere of influence that our Creator called us to lead. And then we extracted some principles from a passage of scripture, Luke chapter 12, from verse 42 to 46. And in that passage of scripture, we were able to identify some key ideas that I think are beneficial to anyone who wants to be an effective leader. First, we determined that leadership is an opportunity to serve, not an opportunity to lord it over people, not an opportunity to abuse the privilege of the position that you have, not an opportunity to ride roughshod over people. But leadership is an opportunity to serve, to be a blessing to people, and to help them really release their own leadership gifting in their own sphere of influence. The second principle we spoke about is that leadership is relational. Now, we can take the measure of your leadership by the quality of the relationship you have with those who you lead. Because leadership truly is a voluntary partnership between those who are led and the leader. And the followers can choose to remove their their followership from you at any given time. And therefore, the mandate of a leader really isn't to try and acquire followers, but to learn how best you can serve people effectively and be a blessing to them. So, leadership is about serving people. And the quality of your relationship will also determine the level of your influence over that body of people. Now, we also went on to say that leadership is always contextual. And the different styles of leadership that you apply will determine on the context in which you operate. If you get the context wrong, then the approach to leadership will become dysfunctional. And once that happens, then you cross an invisible threshold from being an effective leader who leads out of love to being someone who is manipulative or coercive in the way you attempt to lead people. We also mentioned that leadership is an internal disposition where you maintain a personal accountability to an invisible master, knowing that whatever you do to please the one who gave you the assignment, not necessarily to please the people who you're trying to lead or to lord it over them like I said before, but to actually serve that leader who called you into leadership. Now, we also mentioned that as a leader, it is important to understand that self-mastery, personal mastery, must always precede public demonstrations of leadership. There are many people who want to become leaders in the public domain, but they have not mastered their own private passions. They have not mastered their own private appetites. As a result, they may achieve public acclaim, they may achieve positions of leadership in the public domain, but ultimately it comes crashing down because they have not mastered their own personal appetites. They have not achieved personal mastery, and it will eventually reflect in the quality of the leadership you demonstrate in the public arena. We also mentioned that a leader's private thoughts and attitudes will always reflect ultimately in the way in which you treat the people who you are called to lead. If your leadership thinking or your leadership attitude is defective, if the way you think about those who you are called to lead is defective, it will ultimately manifest itself in whether you lead people effectively out of love, out of a sense of service, or if it will manifest itself in you beginning to manipulate them or coerce them. So it is always important to watch what you think and how you think, and also to watch what it is that is shaping your thinking. So in essence, from all these principles, we established that if you're able to understand these principles and apply them within your own personal context, I guarantee you that you will be a much better, a much effective leader 6 months from now.